Hi guys, today I will speak because I want to explain how prova sassa prova sassa. Hi guys, today I want to explain how we have made some special effects in particular dedicated to an horror game type. I have made a couple of game machines with which I can control some entities and using this game machine and triggers and switches and some material properties, we are able to generate a variety of effects typically of an horror game. Okay. As a first, I will show you a blood flowing from the walls. For making this, I have created a new material for the wall that seems to be like the default wall material, but it has an additional layer that you can control using game machine. Okay, the second layer contains the blood material and can be controlled. Its density can be controlled using the layer alpha. Okay, we can fill the wall completely with blood using the alpha of this layer. Okay, you can set this material on all the walls you want to generate blood. Okay, now we can make a game machine that controls the layer alpha of this material. We can assign the game machine to an helper object which can be awaked by a trigger, and the result is that if the player goes inside the trigger, the walls generate flowing blood. Okay, the game machine I have used is this. It is linked to this helper. In this game machine, I have this action that set the alpha layer of a given material, that in this case is the material of the wall, the material I have just created. And the layer alpha is exactly this quantity, okay? So this game machine controls exactly this parameter. It starts initializing this parameter, then it waits about half of a second, and then it starts to play the animation of the blood. The animation of the blood is achieved by using the float animate action. The float animate action animates linearly a float variable from float 1 to float 2 values in a given time. I have used blood amount and time as variables. Blood amount is a variable, time is a parameter. The parameter is what you can see here when you set the game machine for the helper. Okay. I animate in time this float from 0 to 15 when and the value of the blood amount variable that change from 0 to 15 is used to set the layer 1 alpha of the material that is the material I have used as parameter of the helper class, that is exactly the material wall-based body, that is exactly this material wall-based body. So the result is that the layer alpha of the layer 1 goes from 0 to 15 value. In addition, I play a sound that is this sound. I play this sound when playing the animation of the blood. And I play all the animation for time seconds. When the game machine has reached time seconds, I finish it and I destroy the helper with setting the died flag. I stop the sound source and I play another sound. That is this. That is the sound that finished the effect. Okay, I have to just add material here. Okay. When this helper start to run its effect, its game machine, when it is awaked. So I put this helper in sleep state when sleep at start. In this case, the helper is sleeping. so it doesn't work. Okay. So in this case, I create a box volume and a trigger. The trigger controls the box volume, box fx box, that blood fx box, that is this, and the helper one, that is this. When the player character enters the trigger, the box volume, the trigger sends an action event, an awake event to the helper one object that awakes and starts the game machine. Okay. Now, just for try, if this works, we can send directly to the helper to the helper one, directly the action, the awake event, just from the editor interface, and we can show simulation to see if all works. Okay, I send the awake event and the effect appears. And now it finished. Okay. Now if I update the helper, all returns just as before. Okay. Now we can test in game the effects. Okay, by run the game. Okay, I have placed the trigger on the second floor, on the first floor. Now, if I enter the volume, the effect appears. Okay. So we have seen that simply by using the layer alpha parameter of a material, we are able to create some of those effects. Okay, this is the mask that generate the blood flowing. Okay, now we see another effect that we can make. For our horror game. Take in mind that all these game machine and all these object will be and materials will be included inside the Haunted House DLC. So you will have all these tools available for making your horror game. Okay. Now we make an effect using crucifix. I have prepared another game machine that is just simple before the previous, than the previous. It simply rotate an object by a given degree and send at a given delay an event to another object. What we want to do? We want to rotate sequentially all a group of crucifix. So the game machine starts with setting the sound source of the object, because when the object rotates, it emits a sound, and I store its start angle. I use start angle. No, I don't use start angle. So no. No. Never mind this. Okay. After initializing the sound source, I wait for an action event. When the game machine receives the action event, it rotates the object using this new rotate to action that will be available into the next engine update that I release just before releasing, just when I release the Haunted House DLC. Okay, I have used rotate to action that rotate by given degree on a given axis for a given time an object. Now, duration is a parameter of the game machine. Duration. Delay is another parameter, and is the delay the object send the action event to another object during its rotation. So when the object starts to rotate, after delay seconds, sends an event to another given object. The object to which send the event is stored inside the object's variable, that is a parameter, object parameter, that is here. Another feature of the upcoming new engine version is that you can choose here object or files you can store inside a string parameter of the finite state machine. All these is needed to do this. I take the crucifix, assign it the game machine, I set the duration of the effect the delay, the delay time this crucifix had to send an event to another crucifix, and the crucifix that must receive the new message, I can choose here. That is, in this case, is custom entity issue. Okay. So if I send the action event to this crucifix, it will rotate, and then also the second crucifix rotate by 180 degrees. Okay. All these in 5 seconds. Okay. What we can do with this? We can simply create a new trigger, and when player enters this trigger, the trigger sends an action event to the first crucifix, and then in cascade, all other crucifix will rotate in cascade. Okay. To make things much more interesting, I will put the crucifix into the main corridor. Second. If someone have a question, please, there is a chat. Make your question. Okay, I create a third, for example, a third crucifix that receive a message from the second. Choose object. Okay. So this, okay. I can create another crucifix. And then make this to send to a new crucifix. Okay. Okay. Now I can create a new box. For example, here. Then I create a trigger, an action trigger, or an event trigger, here. I connect where is the trigger? Okay, I connect the trigger with color class player. Then I connect the trigger with the new volume. Okay. Okay. And then this trigger will send the action event to the first crucifix when the player enter it. This is the first crucifix. Yes. Okay. So the first crucifix will send the action event to all other. Okay. Now we test this. In game, directly in game. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I enter the volume. And the magic happens. Okay. Now the trigger is one of the sources of the action event. You can use also a switch. For example, if you turn on a lamp. Now we will try to make this trigger. We can sleep this trigger. Okay, start. So the next time this trigger will not work. Okay, we want the lamp sending the lamp cannot send. No, show switch. No. The door is a simple switch. Okay. Switch. Show switch, open sound, receiver. No. We have to make another light. Show switch. No. We have to use another switch. Okay. So we can we can create an event switch. Okay, here. This event switch could be common, could be TV light switch. Okay, could be light switch. Okay, here. Okay, animations of the light switch. Close, open. Okay, this is an event switch. So when I turn on, open the switch, it will send an event, action, action, same, okay, to the lamp that is a show switch and the crucifix. So now I start a test. Okay, now I open the light switcher and okay guys, this is what I've done for now. The DLC will contain a variety of these special effects, so you can build your horror game just as easily as you can. Okay guys, for now is all. I will stop the stream. See you next tutorial or next stream. Okay, bye.